Within the Felder and Silverman Index of Learning Styles, there are a potential of 32 different style combinations. These different styles are created through choosing one option or the other. For instance, sensory visual, active global, it's all important to remember that although everyone has a preference toward one end of the spectrum or the other, everyone will use both sides at some time. The active reflective. This is a preference on how to process new information. This continuum is based on the works of Kolb, who called them active experimentation and reflective observation. Active learners prefer to be doing or external manipulation of content. They will retain information best when they're using a hands-on application or doing something with that information or data. This can be as simple as discussing or teaching information to others. The active learner also prefers more group interactions and social learning or collaboration. The reflective learner tends to be more introspective. They are quiet and solitary. They learn best by thinking through information. They can, however, process information with the help of a partner, but they definitely don't like to do it in a group. They will examine and investigate information through inward introspection. This type of learner really needs some time to process information quietly before sharing or expressing their thoughts on the matter. Visual and verbal. This is a preference on how information is presented. Felder and Silverman recognized the origins of the VAK theory and the value of that kinesthetic learner. However, they did not emphasize the kinesthetic learner feeling, as it was really not relevant to their engineering students, in their opinion. Visual learners are going to prefer visual means to learn, such as diagrams, graphs, pictures, and even demonstrations. This type of learner generally struggles in traditional learning centers, as the information is more likely to be given through audio means such as lectures. The verbal learner is referred to as the audio learner in the VAK model. They are going to excel in learning situations that are focused on hearing, such as discussions, listening, or explanations. They will get the most of their learning through words. Sensing and intuitive. This is a preference to perceiving or how information is taken in. These preferences are based off of the works of Carl Jung, who identified the continuum between sensing and intuition. This continuum is seen in other learning styles as well. Sensing preferences learn best by focusing on the facts and the data. They are a procedural methodical learner who prefers logistics. They like details and doing more hands-on application type of work, which leads them to be more detail-oriented. They prefer information that has a real-world application based on some problem-solving methodologies. And since this preference really tends to be more methodical, they also tend to be slower and a more careful learner. The intuitive learners are really a faster learner. They prefer the conceptual and the theory. They look for innovative and interesting ways to apply information. They like new information, and they're going to quickly process any new information. They also like to look at abstract content. This preference tends to be quick and fast and swift to assimilate anything new. Interestingly, Felder and Silverman share that every individual uses both sensing and intuitive learning at varying times, despite having an inclination toward one preference or another. Sequential global. Preference on how information is organized and understood. The sequential learner is going to learn in a very methodical thinking manner. A sequential manner, right? They are linear in their approach, tending to organize their approach in small steps. They are logical. They are very logical in their problem solving and in their learning process. This learning preference can start with pieces of information and move to a bigger picture without needing all of it at one time, with a steady progression of difficulty. The global preference is a more holistic approach. Think of it as the whole approach. This approach is going to look at that whole picture and then break it down or pull it down into smaller steps. This type of learner will grab information in spurts with random or seemingly disconnected pieces of data and then put it together. They are also a quick learner. They're going to be quick to look at and solve complex information with very innovative approaches. In contrast to the sequential learner, the global learner needs the big picture first before they're able to break it down into the details.